So I got my first pop punk CD in 6th grade. It was Blink-182, Enema of the State.
Yeah, my first one was probably in 6th grade.
I think I was in 6th grade.
I guess it started when I was maybe 11. I was 10.
I remember my friend brought over the Enema of the State CD. I think that was the summer of 7th or 8th grade.
So lyrically, pop punk. Most of it tends to be about girls. You know, when I was in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, all you're thinking about is girls. And so, a lot of it's, really relatable to how you like some girl and she doesn't like you back, or you like some girl and she, turns out to be a bitch. And so you're like, fuck that girl. I don't ever want to hang out with her again. Things like that, not getting along with your parents, or, growing up.
Don't grow up so quick!
Trying to find out who you are. But there has been kind of a newer wave where it's been a lot of nostalgia, kind of talking about how things used to be. I mean, it's still positive. It's not, it's not like a depressing, I wish things were how they were 3 years ago. It's more of remembering those good times that we had, kind of using that to get through tough times we may be in now.
How things used to be positive, the good times.
Walking in Sacramento.
Junior year, springtime.
Doing all the things that kids used to do, and how it was great being a kid.
And a lot of bands look back at when they were young.
I did think we were cool being a young boy.
1, 2, 3.
What's up? This is worthwhile. I'm a positive kid, I don't know, I like looking on the bright side and stuff, and so it was something that was positive, but it wasn't a hateful.
I've written a couple of the songs, but The Miracle Me was about me coming just to where I am today, I guess. It was just a mix between how I am now as a Christian and how awesome it is, and how I was completely innocent when I was just a little boy and stuff like that, and I had no problems ever. Now that I live the way I do, I feel like I have that innocence back.
What is their obsession with the past?
It's something that you can use as a refuge.
Try to make the best of what's going on.
You can use express your emotions with, or you can use it as a getaway.
It's just a getaway.
Kind of catchy and but it still had meaning to it.
It kind of offers
a brotherhood. One night everyone can just join together and be all one at that one show.
To make sure that we can, you can stick by your friends. You can push through, the rough times that you're gonna face. You had good times back when you were younger, but that doesn't mean that the good times are gone. Those are the only good times you're gonna have. You can still move forward. You can still be a kid, even if you want to.
A lot of pop punk comes from past experiences, so I can definitely relate to stuff like that.
I know if I ask somebody what was your first experience of pop punk, they know exactly when they first heard about it or when they first identified with it.
We had heard All the Small Things and What's My Age Again on the radio, and I thought it was so good.
Started listening to the radio back when that was cool.
I remember my friend brought over the Enema of the State CD.
And I remember exactly going to get it with my brother and my sister and my mom and my whole family. We all went to Target.
Played it over and over again. I tried even recording it with tapes how we would back in the day.
My cousin took me to see the Honda Civic Tours, New Found Glory, the movie live, MXPX, and Good Charlotte.
Couldn't get anything. So actually what I had to end up doing was I traded a shitload of Pokemon cards for that CD. It was pretty scratched too, and I think I gave a couple good ones away.
And my mom almost didn't let me get it because it had a parental advisory on it.
It was kind of after when my family had gotten their first CD player. It's a really big deal.
We had this little daycare thing that we would go to, and me and all my friends, we'd bring in take off your pants and jacket and warning, and we would just listen to it and while the other kids were out I don't know, doing other things that little kids do.
In the car, I heard this song, and it was so different.
I remember dancing in my room, listening to New Found Glory.
And I stayed in one spot in my room, listening to the radio station, until I heard the song again, and I found out it was New Found Glory.
What pop punk means to me.
A lot of it, especially New Found Glory self-titled, just reminds me of junior year in high school.
Well, it kind of encompasses my whole life.
It's just a getaway from life, graduating college.
We used to play that CD all the time with this kid, Ryan Bagazi. We'd always play Dressed to Kill. We'd just drive around in his ghetto blazer and play that song just really loud, going through Carmichael and the greater Sacramento area, just playing that song over and over again.
A large portion of my life, I identify with music and my friends and what's going on around me. And that's a lot of it, what it encourages.
We'd go out and do something, that CD would still be in the car. We'd come back, the next day or something, same CD. We'd hardly ever change that CD.
Pop punk.
Pop punk.
Kind of like a tribute to being a kid. Like it's cool being grown up now, but like remember how it was, being a carefree kid.
It's just kind of a look back down memory lane, really.
It's kind of cool to hear people singing about how their life was before. It kind of brings people together and being like, oh yeah, I remember when things were that way. Like that was cool. Like let's use that. Let's push through maybe this crappy time I'm going through now and try to make the best of what's going on.
Younger years, the history of you.